All right. This is a ghost story by Phantasma on Neo Savage channel. Everything I'm going to tell you is the truth, except names will be removed or changed to protect basically me. So, I want to dedicate this to my good friend Jewel. Diamond in the rough, baby. You know it. So, I had worked for this one large aerospace firm in the valley for 22 years. I started working when I was 18, and now I'm in my 40s, and I've been around, and I did good work for them. I mean, and honestly, in the 22 years I was there, I probably had about 25, 30 managers over time. And I've had some good managers and bad managers. I had managers that wanted to lay me off. I had managers that wanted to promote me. So take that for what it is. I was always being me. It's just the people around me either liked it or didn't like it. Well, finally, I get to this point in my career where I'm making so much money that they can't afford me to put me on projects direct charge because my rate is so high that I kill the budget. But it's only because they don't ever plan for what they have to do, and when they can't do it, they need me to fix it. So then I cost a lot of money. So they would spread me across like 12 projects, and I do them all 12 projects. Never failed a project. Never said can't do it. I say you may have to make some changes, but we can do it. So I get into this program where I actually was in charge of a team of project engineers, and I lost my job because they restructured the department. I lost my manager position, and my team members got redistributed across the same organization. But they said, hey, if you want to join this special team, you can be on a special project, you'll keep your employment, and we will still work together. We'll just work on a different phase of the project together. So instead of being on the back phase of implementation, I was now on the very forefront of new product development. And that's where I was for under this new manager who was a hotshot dude that came from the defense side where they make nuclear bombs. So this dude is like came up through the nuclear bomb making, and now he's trying to flip it and bounce it on the aerospace side. The only problem is he doesn't know aerospace, and I do. So at some level, he uses me to crack all the eggs and make all the omelets, so to speak. Okay? He gave me work that he was doing. I relieved him of this work to do who knows what he was doing, because he wasn't helping me out. I was taking the brunt of the work. For example, I had to create and compile the list of all the programs across all the enterprises, of all the new development, hardware programs, and every month I would do an audit, and we would create an agenda, and there'd be this big dog and pony show across all the VPs, all directors, about how these programs are doing or not doing. I put that agenda together. I manage all the communication. I manage the lists. I manage the database. I manage the milestone schedules. I was the dude. I wrote the program to manage that. And then on top of that, I had my own enterprise of 88 programs that I was running that I had to fix anything wrong in the 88 programs. Because if I miss my milestone, that's on me. And then on top of that, he gave me two special work streams. Other people had teams on one work stream. I had two special work streams to myself. One to create the financial model that justifies our new product development as showing a cost reduction, and another to implement a change to the whole system where the entire management information dashboard was going to update with the new metrics. So I was doing all this, and the guy knew I was going through a divorce. The guy knew I had health problems. The guy knew I was moving houses. The guy knew I was buying houses trying to get on my feet. So let me ask you something. If you have any compassion for another human, why would you make them do so much work when they're already struggling at home? Because there is no compassion. They didn't care. I was making a lot of money, and they figured they'd get the work out of me. Right? Because they weren't going to keep me in the long term. They couldn't. And I soon found out why. So now I'm at this really high level. And I'm literally seeing the shit happening on like 90 new aerospace and electronic development programs, space programs, secret programs. Did I say the company? I said aerospace, right? Okay, good. Anyhow, so now I see this pattern. We had the dog and pony show of the red and green and blue lights, or the red and blue and yellow lights, but this is all manipulated by the system, and you can game the system. You can say you're doing something and not do something, or fuck it up, or have an excuse to not to do it, and you still get paid, because you get paid anyways. So with this company was going through downsizing and moving and acquiring and reducing people and just this constant churn of people. You see these problems occur. They can't order hardware. They can't find their hardware. The hardware doesn't fit. They can't make the hardware. I hear it over and over again, day in and day out. All the problems. Our quality problem here, our quality problem there. Our new products don't fit on the aircraft. And then I'm seeing the massive incompetence around me. That people would sit on a phone call for an hour to discuss a problem they don't understand or have the technical ability to solve. But they'll sit there for an hour and talk about it because they got a meeting to go to. Instead of coming to me at 10 minutes and say, let's go find a technical person and bring them to the meeting and solve the issue, they just talk about it. Now, I'm pretty technical. So I started jumping in on calls and solving problems because I had to make my milestone. The problem is when you have a team and a program manager and they're all playing these roles, the program manager, the project engineer, the supply chain person, and you walk in and they've all been sitting on this problem for a year, and I say I solve it in 10 minutes, call you back. That tends to ruffle a few feathers. Tends to upset the apple cart. Tends to make people feel inadequate. So I was doing a lot of that. I was at the point where beyond breaking from the stress, beyond breaking from the home life stress, beyond tolerance to put up with any more abuse at any level, any kind of abuse. And then one day, I really let them have it. So they were talking about, there's a whole network of sites, 26 sites that make things for aerospace. And 2 sites kept on having quality issues. Now, I know why they're having quality issues because these 2 sites had the highest volume, but they also had the highest relative quality issues, returns, problems in the field. And so I started asking the question. I'm on the phone call with all the directors, the quality director, the new product director, the advanced manufacturing director, all these directors, right? Higher than me. Program management chiefs, chief engineers, project engineers that do quality, IT, supply chain, everyone is on this call. And I started asking really simple questions. I'm like, does anyone on this call know whether, I can say the cities, Tempe or Ottawa share the same work instruction program? No one knew. Does anyone know, and it's not called work instruction, it's called MOT, but I'm trying to simplify it. Does anyone know how hard these programs are to change? No one knew. And then somebody asked me, he said, I have no idea what you're asking, Gabriel. We're talking about quality. Why are you talking about manufacturing work instructions? And I said, simply put, the reason you are having quality defects is your instructions are not correct. So, when someone follows the instructions and doesn't know to flip the thing around, you make a defect. Right? So I go to the senior director of quality and supply and new product director. I ask him, I would change his name. I call him Patel. Patel, what happens if you put a bad CNC program into a good CNC machine? What happens to the part? And he was quiet for a long time because he knew. And then he said, you make a bad part. I said, remove the CNC machine. We are the machine. The MOT is our program. If the MOT is wrong, I'll make a bad part every time. And then they were like, whoa. And they said, well, we can't make them perfect. I said, they have to be perfect. Don't tell me can't. They have to be perfect. In fact, your biggest flaw of this whole program is when you prove a new product into your introduction, you take the very qualified mechanic and you have him build it. You should take the janitor and have him build it. Because that's what you're going to outsource to. And that's your flaw. And that's why you're making scrap every single month. We're on this phone call. You're making scrap. That's why. Because your MOTs suck and you don't even know how to change them. Then they ended the call. And then my boss called me. And he said, Gabe, what you're saying is true. It's correct. You're not lying. We just don't like the way you're saying it. You know what I told him? I said, for 22 years, I've been under the paranoia management of this company. This company makes you paranoid to lose your job. So you work harder. So you give up vacations, you give up weekends, you give up evenings, you take your laptop on vacation with you because you're paranoid to lose your job. I am no longer being intimidated anymore. I'm gonna start intimidating you guys because you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. You included. And that was that. And then I went on a leave because it did stress me out. I went to the hospital, got checked out. I went to Puerto Rico. I came back. They wouldn't let me go to the office. They wanted me to work from home. I was working for like another week or two from home, right? And that's when I started posting some things on the internet because I was mad because I knew what they were doing. Because what happened was, in between the time I came back from Puerto Rico and the time that I got let go, I went into the office at 4 a.m. I downloaded all my personnel files from the server, everything. All my employee records, I printed them up, I put them together for my lawyer, and I bailed out of there. Because I know when the security shows up. Because I've worked here for 22 years. Okay, I know when they're sleeping, I know when they're awake. I've been watching the master when I've been picking fucking cotton. I've been watching the master. All right? So check this out. I get all my information. 5 days later, there's a corporate-wide email saying about large amounts of data being taken, and they're shutting down all of the ways to take data. And I sat someone from IT check my computer because my processor was spiking. They were watching me. They were already watching me. They were watching my social media. They were watching my work computer. They were watching my work iPhone. I started leaving that in one place. I didn't bring it with me. So then I started watching the messaging board on the layoff.com, and there's a lot of chatter about a layoff coming to my site. And the way you'll know is you'll try to badge in, and your badge won't work. And when you go security, they just walk you out. You don't even get in the building. No scene, no one even knows. Slick, right? Oh, you're so slick. Oh, you're so slick. I wish I could say your company name. Oh, you're so slick, aren't you? Well, guess what? I read the messaging board, so I go at 4 in the morning to my home site. I badge it don't work. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You laid me off. And I knew he was trying to lay me off because of what he was doing. He was investigating me. He was giving me more work. He was worried about my health, if I'm on drugs or some shit. Coming and checking on me when he works in Kansas. Why are you checking on me, bro? He was out to get me. Someone probably told him to get me. I probably really pissed someone off. Well, they ain't seen nothing yet. So now I have access to all the sites in the valley. I'm just like, Deny me access here? I'll go to headquarters. How about that? How about I walk my happy ass into headquarters, badge in, do my work, and think about what my next move is going to be? Because I know when I go back to the home base, I'm laid off. Well, I did that. And knowing what I know about the company and knowing what I know about how they move, I decided to make a statement. So on the day that I knew I was laid off, I knew I was going into battle. I dressed like a warrior, not like a engineer. I had some Dickies on, a white t-shirt, and a bandana. This is like my tata would wear when he goes to work. But that on your head to catch a sweat. It's just to catch a sweat, baby. So I do go into the headquarters. I do badge in. Nothing's wrong with my badge. It's working. My network access works. I log into the computer. I do my robot that saves all the productivity. I do my job. I do my job. Even though they try to stop me from doing my job, I still did my job. And I went and talked to this one director. I told him I was really unhappy with my boss. I'm done. This place is crazy. I'm done. And then I walked straight into the 4th floor where the executives sit. I badged into the executive office. I walked in through another badge door, walked in, and I sat my ass down by the VP's guest chair. I'm sorry, the CEO's guest chair. The CEO of the whole corporation at headquarters in the heart of the monster. I sat there waiting for him to come. Because you know what? I know he's the one that signs off on the layoff sheets. He has to. I think after 22 years, I should tell him, hey, maybe you should use me somewhere else. Because obviously I defeated your whole security system. But for some reason, he was late that day. He was delayed. Not on time. I wonder why. He was on time before I showed up, but then he wasn't on time. And then they found the 2 biggest dudes at the plant, because I'm a pretty big dude. They found the 2 biggest lackeys they could find, which was the facilities director and the director of corporate security. Now they were big compared to average, not bigger than me. And they were scared. Because the white guy was an old fat man, and the dude was a younger Mexican, but he's to my chest, you know? And they're like, oh, we need to escort you. I said, hey, there's a camera right here. Let's have the talk right here. We're on camera, right? And so they asked all the questions. What are you doing? I said, hey, my badge didn't work. Deer Valley. Came to headquarters to find out what's going on. Well, why do you want to talk to the CEO? Well, he's the one that makes the decision on all the layoffs, so I think I should have my opportunity to say, hey, maybe there's a better way. A way I can help you out of this. And they just asked me simple. I never once threatened them. I never once raised my voice. I never once touched them. They asked me for my badge information. I gave my badge information. I said my computer's in the other building. They said, oh, we'll take care of that for you. And they escorted me out. No one touched anybody. They didn't want to lay hands on me. Because I was right there at the CEO's office, waiting for him. So when I walk out, there's one cop there. What's up, officer? I still got my badge. These guys can tell you what happened. I'm out. I bail out. Then they send 2 cops to my parents' house, because that's my last known address. They send 2 cops to my parents' house to check on Gabriel to see if he's okay. All right? Then I get online and get on a message board. I send emails to the CEO of the company. I also send an email to the Senate Arms and Services Committee outlining how this company has endangered our military readiness because they can't make parts. They have $1 billion in backlog and they can't make the parts. So how are they gonna fly the jets? How are you gonna fly jets without parts? How are you gonna fly helicopters without parts? How are you gonna drive tanks without parts? How are you gonna fly missiles without parts? You see what I'm saying? Because they destroyed the company. And I knew it. I seen it. And I sent that to the State Department and the Senate Armed Services Committee. Never heard nothing back. But this dude came back. There's a federal lawsuit against this company because they defrauded the stakeholders, the shareholders, about some asbestos litigation, and they want me as a federal defendant on that case and a class action. That's what that got me. That letter got me. I got on a federal case. So then I basically told the CEO, look, you guys need to pay me. You can't fire me like that. You guys need to pay me for my service, for what I know, so I don't write a damning book about your company. And they played games for a little bit. They sent a dude to my house with a gun. They sent 6 cops to my door to try and intimidate me. 2 detectives and 4 cops. That was after the dude with the gun pointed a gun at me. Some dude with a military backpack sitting in a car running all night watching my front door. Oh, and by the way, that night the power went out. My dad's all, go outside and check. I'm like, I'm not going outside. I'm not going outside. I'm on the corner of the block. If they cut the power, it's because they want me. They cut the power for me. See if I would come out. Because that truck was out there waiting for me. And he had a gun and he pointed at me. Because I told them, you either got to pay me or kill me because I'm not going to shut up. So they said someone to get me. But he didn't know who he was fucking with. Because he's the one that left scared. All I had in my hand was a hammer. And he had a Glock. That's right. He bailed out. Because he didn't know who he was fucking with. So, and then that whole led to a whole shenanigans with my dad. And my dad was there when it happened. And he wasn't backing me up. So I felt like betrayed. I'm telling my dad, drive fast to the lawyer so I get my case going against this company. And my dad gets all freaked out because I'm talking about a guy with a gun. And he just can't handle this level. Because he talks about conspiracy, but when you actually get into the meat of the military-industrial complex, it's way uglier than what they talk about in any of the alternative media. It's nasty. Because they sent an armed guy to my house to watch me all night long, and they cut the power to the whole block to get to me. And they were blocking my IP address from posting on the ladders at Reddit and other messaging boards. They were blocking me. And my computer's probably compromised to this day. But you know what? When it's all said and done, I stood up to the man. I shook them to their knees because they installed the emergency protocol. They thought they were under attack. They locked down all the sites where there was only one way in, one way out, and you had to show them everything. They were that scared of me sitting in that CEO's guest chair. And I was unarmed. I never got a police report. I never talked to no one from the FBI, even though they said they put the FBI on me. No charges filed. Right? So, but you know what? They paid. They paid. I did my thing. I let them know I was there. And they paid. But they're not done paying, baby. And that's my whole hook. Because I'm playing 3D chess. I planned this game out 12 years ago. And now we're getting into the action part, baby. Where all the moves are happening. They're not done. I'm on a federal court case after your ass. And we're going to get you. Because I know where all the bodies are. Because I'm the one that buried them.